A massive thank you to Lawrence, Thomas, Icon Gaming, Grim Mocker and HMS fans subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 3 of season 6 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Today for episode 100. Yes! We're 100 episodes in to this insane F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, and today we head to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, of course, from the iconic Imola. But I thought episode 100 of this series, you guys have been asking for it over the last few weeks, so today we're going to be doing a 100% race. The first time I've done one, I think, on F1 2021. I think the first time in actually a very, very long time I've done one on an F1 game in its entirety. So very, very excited to be jumping into this one today. Quickly before we jump into this race, though, there's been a bit of speculation from you guys over the last couple of races in this series. Turns out, I've been a bit of a moron. I genuinely thought we put Mercedes power in the back of this car, but it turns out no. I actually had to go back through and look at the footage. We are in fact running Ferrari power units once more, so I apologise to all of you guys that, I said that we were running Mercedes power. I genuinely thought we did as well, but no, turns out I accidentally, when I went through all the settings pre-season, I managed to accidentally click one way to the right without realising, and yeah, so we are rocking Ferrari power for Season 6 of the My Team Career Mode. Hopefully that doesn't take away too much of it for you guys there. It's not hopefully going to be something that worries me too much if it doesn't worry you guys. But yeah, just thought we'd sort of clear the air over that one, because I've been called a few things in the comments over the last couple of videos because of it. But championship-wise, of course, if you missed out on the last race from the Chinese Grand Prix, I would definitely recommend going back and checking it out. Of course, there will be spoilers pretty much now, actually, so yeah, go back and check that one out if you haven't already. We currently sit 1 point behind Max Verstappen in the Drivers' World Championship there. Red Bull and Red Bull and 212 Motorsport, even I should say, all 4 of their drivers separated by just 6 points here, as Red Bull have a 3-point lead in the constructors there. Mercedes still waiting in the wings. Tsunoda and Aitken there, not quite able to sort of get in the mix so far this year, but apparently there are rumours of more Mercedes upgrades coming in the near future there. So they sit on 41 points in the Constructors' Championship. But fingers crossed then, 100% race this weekend, we can have a good run at it. Let's dive into practice here from the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Right, well here we are then, back in Italy for the first of 2 races, of course, this year in the nation. Very, very much looking forward, though, to the Italian the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix here from Imola. Yeah, we could have, there's a lot of worse tracks we could do a 100% race on F1 2021, but fingers crossed, we have a bit of a better run than we did last year at this GP. Of course, it was the first of 2 mechanical failures in a row, and immediately there were already questions being raised as to whether it would be our year to battle it out for the championship. But obviously you guys that stuck with us through Season 5 know how that ended up turning around. Fingers crossed this weekend I actually need to focus a little bit more on making sure we've got good qualifying pace in the car. We really struggled last time round in Shanghai. It's quite an AIOP circuit anyway, as that's not going to be the line through Aqua Minerale there. But yeah, fingers crossed this weekend though we can have a bit of a turnaround, back sort of where we'd expect to be on the pace. We almost took pole here last season, so we kick out the back end of the chicane there, so maybe that pace, the confidence we had last year around here can carry over. But yeah, I think it's going to be a rather long weekend. Don't quite know yet how long this video is going to be.
Coming up. Get ready to open it. Distance is on your MFD.
Is that going to be purple? Not quite. Around the final couple of corners then to finish off our tyre wear run. Looks like that's going to be pretty comfortable. Used all the battery for the lap, but it is going to be purple score. The 2022 F1 season kicks off in just a couple of weeks' time, and now with all the car reveals out the way, we have got official merch drops from basically every F1 team. Available now, the Aston Martin 2022 range, as well as the all-new Williams pack, and then of course, the Mercedes 2022 range drop has also been released. I'm definitely going to be copping myself some George Russell merch as well. But yeah, links down below, there is merch available for every team, and of course, if you use the links, you massively help support the channel. Right, well here we are then, qualifying day from the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and safe to say these weren't quite the weather conditions I was hoping for qualifying day. Also safe to say it doesn't really work with the gold either. It's looking very much like a mustard yellow in the drizzly conditions from the Imola circuit, but fingers crossed we can just keep it clean and tidy and navigate our way around a lap there, as that's a lot of risk for a first lap in Q2. Seems like Red Bull have got good pace though in the car, but we often come strong later on in these sessions there, as Valtteri Bottas immediately down on a 21 flat. I think fastest times, obviously, it completely depends on whether the conditions change. We might see cars just dip into the 19s. At the final corner, up towards the line, pretty tidy lap, and it's going to be a 20.4 there. Leaves about 2/10 off what Verstappen's done, but Ferrari and Mercedes, they always say rain is a great equaliser of car performance, and yeah, 4 cars, 4 teams, separated by less than 2/10. Right, end of Q2 though. Just want to go out for one extra run, just on the off chance the pace does improve. No need to take risks, especially when it doesn't look like there's going to be rain on Sunday. We just need to use these intermediate tyres in qualifying. That first run actually did on an old set from Q1. So yeah, fresh set of tyres should give us a tiny bit extra as well. But again, in the intermediates, it really doesn't make much of a difference. So far, this lap has been a little bit better there, just capitalising on the small mistakes we made here and there in our first Q2 run. Around find a couple of corners. Team saying the rain's going to stop fairly soon. And at a final corner, a little bit of slip there, but we do find a lot of time through the final couple of turns. So that is going to be the 19, and that is us fastest at the end of Q2. Well, we absolutely love to see that there. Fastest at the end of Q2 for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. I'm going to say that so many times this weekend there. But yeah, Verstappen's second ahead of Aitken and Carlos Sainz there. Gasly really struggling down on a 121 flat there, but no surprises out in Q2. Both AlphaTauris, Williams now for Romeos. Getting into Q3, let's just see whether we can try and maintain this pace. But like I said, track conditions might now be evolving. Right, well, here we go then. Right at the start of well, actually about halfway through Q3. Looks like we're going to be the first car onto a set of dry compound tyres here, but not too sure it's going to be worth trying to finish a lap. Might just be worth boxing and then trying to get back out on another fresh set there. We probably will go fastest, just because everyone else is on intermediates. We might just have botched ourselves slightly here, as we're going to accidentally take the Hamilton line through turn 1. Luckily don't get flicked up by the curbs somehow. Well, that was very, very optimistic in towards the first couple of turns, but helps us get our eye in. We, yeah, probably are going to have to bail out of this lap and then head out again as we head up the hill there. Yeah, 4.5 seconds up on a lot of other cars. So that was a lot of curb in towards the chicane there. Definitely has helped us get our eye in on this lap, but we are going to have to box back in and pretty much immediately come back out on another fresh set of soft tyres. It's going to be one of those sessions where I think being the last car on a lap is going to be absolutely everything. As we're in the final corner. Might still go fastest despite entering the pits. Let's just wait and see. That would be quite funny. Are we going to do it? Oh, it doesn't count. That would have been fastest, I reckon. But yeah, let's get back out there then on a set of soft compound tyres. You can see everyone else is already peeling out of the box. So we are going to have to get on with this. Right, well, sunny skies then here in Imola. Ready for our final lap of Q3. We need to absolutely try and nail this one as we clip the gravel on the exit of the final corner then. Not the ideal way to start a lap, but let's get on with it then. I'm sure the time's going to be improving from everyone else. But let's see if we're going to have enough in the car. Couple of small mistakes in Sector 1. They're still so difficult to judge, because you have to be so committed here around Imola. Tip it in. Really try and lean on the car as much as possible. It will grip up. This track, is very, very grippy, and of course you run such high aero, just because the straights aren't that long either. Where are we going to be in comparison to Jack Aitken? Just slightly down, but it's the final sector where this thing really comes alive. There attack the curbs on the way in and on the way out there. That was pretty much as good as we're ever going to be able to get that. As down in towards the final sector of the lap. Keep it clean, keep it tidy. Chuck it in. Fourth gear through the second part. Avoid the sausage curbs on the inside. Shortest run to the line. Where is it going to be? The Italian Grand Prix. I think it's only 4th. That's a bit gutting, I'll be honest. I genuinely thought we could have been on pole for this one. P4 at the end of qualifying.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Sainz, Verstappen and Pierre Gasly. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Well, there we go then. Carlos Sainz, a surprise pole position for Ferrari there at the end of the session, but 5 cars separated by less than a tenth, so I guess we can't be too gutted to be starting on the front row, on the second row alongside our teammate Pierre Gasly there. 44 thousandths of a second of pole position only leaves us P4 there. That is pretty gutting at the end of qualifying, but like I said, can't be too disappointed with that, and of course a very, very long race ahead of us today. Let's dive in then here to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
Hello there and welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters in red today. They've all turned out for what we have every expectation of being a sensational event here at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track here at Imola, featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One circuits as it's driven anti-clockwise. Let's hope no one forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight of the circuit and its only DRS zone. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Let's talk about Mercedes. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Gasly, Mr. Monaco, Valtteri Bottas and Perez, Aitken, Ricciardo, Leclerc and Yuki Tsunoda, Norris, Joe, Callum Eilert and Latifi, Giovinazzi, Lundgaard, George Russell and Lance Stroll, Ocon, Mazepin, Schwartzman and Mick Schumacher. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
This is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching.
And I guess if I hadn't looked back at the footage, I would have been very, very confused by that statement by the team there. But yeah, of course, Ferrari's home Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz on pole position. I'm sure they are loving to see that here in Imola. But 63 laps ahead of us, though, here today. Let's just see. I want to try and do soft, medium, soft, if possible there. Of course, in a 50% race, you could do soft mediums here. That would work. But yeah, this is very much a step into the unknown. Of course, one thing that we can pretty much guarantee is we're still going to be able to save a lot of fuel as the day goes on there. So only going to run 56 laps worth there. 7 laps recovery we should be able to do here today there. But yeah, very, very excited to jump into the Grand Prix. Just going to lower the front wing slightly so we got a bit more straight line speed. Yeah, let's dive in though here to Imola. Right, let's do this thing then. 63 laps from the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and to kickstart this we need a good start here. 5 red lights and it's going to be lights out and away we go. Gasly there rocketing off the line there as we try and cover from the cars behind, but looks like Verstappen has nailed the start as well as we head down in towards turn 1. Got to try and be rather risk adverse here as oh ha! Sergio Perez straight around off the start of the Grand Prix there after tangling with Valtteri Bottas there. And how is that not a safety car? There we go.
The safety car due to multiple cars being stopped on track. Mind your delta.
Well, that was a crazy way to start the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Sergio Perez looping it round after contact with Valtteri Bottas, and we just had to slam on the anchors to try and avoid that one there. I don't think there's been too much damage for other cars, unless of course a lot of the cars at the back of the field have, you know, sort of ended up losing front wings. But yeah, it seemed like it was just a lot of concertina and up, and that the FIA decided they need to let everyone sort of work their way back around there, but getting right into the thick of it at the start of the Grand Prix, not causing the controversy, but certainly getting involved. Doesn't appear that anyone's pit then off the start of this GP, so just letting the whole field sort of regroup up, I think was the FIA's plan there, but only losing one position off the start then in the end to Valtteri Bottas. Gasly still in P3 there. Verstappen has jumped Sainz. Whether Sainz is going to have the pace in that Ferrari today, we'll have to wait and see. It would be good to see them fighting right back at the front, as we've now got Aitken behind us. But yeah, Checo Perez not losing many places there, so he was kind of the big, you know, sort of save from all of that. But yeah, let's get ready to go green flag racing once more. Safety car coming in then at the end of lap 3, so 60 laps hopefully of racing is now about to commence here from Imola. Verstappen still in the lead, and let's just see if we can try and jump Bottas off this restart. Verstappen's probably going to gun it out of the final corner. No, he's not actually. He's going to try and wait towards the line, so clearly feels under threat from Carlos Sainz there, as we don't get the best restart in the world, but we have got a lot of grunt in this Ferrari power unit. But McLaren, yeah, very, very slippery down the straightaways, as everyone trying to, you know, not be too optimistic for moves, but trying to apply the pressure to the car in front.
Fuel before the end of the race. Start being a little conservative with the remaining fuel, please.
And that is not the start we needed off this safety car there. Jack Aitken looking to try and apply the pressure, but luckily we defend very, very aggressively and robustly there from the young Englishman. But we do live to fight another day. Dropping slightly back from the cars in front. Got to try and get these tyres up to temperature. End of lap 5 though. DRS should be enabled in just a second. Looks like Verstappen is really trying to stretch his legs.
Enabled. DRS is now enabled.
It's almost like I know how that works by now, Jeff. But yeah, Verstappen just trying to stretch his legs a bit as Sainz and Gasly struggling. We just got to try and stick close to Bottas, as I'm apparently losing my voice again.
Green flag.
Yellow flag's out though. I think, oh, it's Perez again has gone round down in the first sector there. I think he's just bobbled over the curbs. Perez not having fun through those first few corners of the lap. Oh, gaining a little bit on Valtteri Bottas there. Bit of a wobble from the McLaren as we head out of the final chicane. They're down in towards the final couple of turns. Let's just see if we can try and get a run now on the McLaren. Like I said, the pickup of that thing has always been phenomenal at the final corner, and that's not going to help our case either. Big chunk of snap oversteer.
Try to keep this momentum.
Team happy with the pace at the moment though, as we need Gasly trying to have a look past Carlos Sainz. But yeah, if we don't have that mistake down in towards the final turn, we definitely now should be able to look for a run on Bottas over the next couple of laps. Only 8 laps in to a 63 lap marathon. Oh, as again Bottas kicks out the back end, trying to put the power down in towards the final sector of the lap. And again, we are all over the back of the McLaren here. Valtteri Bottas feeling the pressure. Oh, this time a big run out of the final corner there as well. Bottas again just kicks the back end out slightly. We nudge a wheel in the gravel, and that's going to help him just break away slightly. But again, then you can see the overspeed as we head in towards turn 1. At the very same time, Gasly's going for a move around the outside of Carlos Sainz. What is Bottas doing? You can't do that in towards turn 1 there, and we get a warning for a collision there. Bottas moved around in the braking zone in my eyes there, and that's going to push us, I mean, apparently all over the road. Come on, got to get the car back going in the right direction. That is going to shuffle us way down the order in this Grand Prix there, behind the Astons, behind the Alfa Romeos as well. Tyres have completely now overheat in this GP, so we need to try and bring those back down to the right operating window there. But yeah, not happy with Valtteri Bottas. You know, you just expect him to sort of follow the race in line there, but he just moved early so far towards us in towards the braking zone there, forced me over the curbs, and then nowhere we could go. How on earth they've deemed that was a mistake on my end rather than his, really not too sure. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on that collision. But yeah, it doesn't look like Gasly was able to pull off the move on Carlos Sainz either. But now, yeah, we're in for a very, very long race. We're trying to pick off cars and bringing the car back to where it should be. But if ever there was a time for that, a 100% race is probably the right one. Let's just get our head down. Lap 10.
Gap to teammate
54
ahead
laps.
is 20.9 seconds.
20 seconds, Gasly up the road. Now, yeah, let's just get our head down and focus. Yeah, I think we're probably now going to spend quite a few laps trying to navigate cars that we shouldn't really be racing with there as we try and get the run on Sir Lancelot at the final corner. And see how good that Mercedes power unit is. Those were both going to gain on George Russell back in towards turn 1 here. Russell is aware of it though. Oh, they do sneak to the inside though right at the last minute as again the AI turn in on you in towards turn 1. I don't know if that was Stroll trying to look around the outside of his teammate there, but Russell loses 2 places in all of that. But code is that definitely needs fixing. They can't be turning in on you in towards the braking zone. Next up though, Christian Lundgaard in his Alfa Romeo. We often lap Christian, but today, yeah, we're going to have to be trying to overtake him on the road as Giovinazzi not too far ahead either. Look at the pickup though at the final corner. Ferrari power versus Ferrari power this time. And with the DRS though and a much more sophisticated power unit, Christian Lundgaard, we'll see you in a while, mate. Next up, Gio. And yeah, at the end of the very same lap though, all over the back of Antonio Giovinazzi. Let's try and get the run past him the same way we did to Lundgaard just a lap ago. Oh, aha, don't want to do that at the final corner. That was a little bit scary. But still, yeah, shouldn't make too much of a difference. To the inside of the homeboy. And around the outside of Giovinazzi we go there. So yeah, back down towards turn 1. Bit of a gap up to Guan Yu Zhou up the road. Oh, come on, get it slowed down. Yeah, let's just get our head down. 50 laps to go. Yeah, still setting PBs at the moment in this Grand Prix. But yeah, slowly now rocking up to the back of Guan Yu Zhou. I have, however, noticed... So you head out of here, there's a tree just up there on the right hand side that looks a bit like a teddy bear. Not that I'm getting distracted at all during this race as we cross over 1/4 race distance. Oh, first pitters in, Callum Ilott and Valtteri Bottas.
You'll be on the mediums.
I see Bottas behind us again in this race. We're going to try and extend to about lap 22 and then go mediums. All over the back now of Guan Yu Zhou.
By 18.0 seconds.
Cap to Gasly is coming down as well, which I suppose is reassuring. Are we going to be close enough? No. And again, you can see the way the AI move around into the braking zone there. We might be able to get a run at the first chicane, though, on the Chinese driver there, as he's going to go uber defensive, but then backs out very, very early. So around the outside in towards turn 4.
Great pass.
Team happy with that. Around the outside of Guan Yu Zhou. And now we're back up into the points as well, into 9th. Next up, Lando Norris, 10 seconds up the road. At least we got a lot of people to chase today. Trying to look, you know, every cloud and all that. Around in the final couple of corners then, as we're about to start lap 20. Tyres definitely fading just a little bit at the moment, as I think we're going to see probably Gasly come in this lap, but a big gaggle of cars actually into the pits as Verstappen has rejoined ahead of me, so that's not particularly reassuring. Verstappen has still got a pit stops margin over myself at the moment. But yeah, I think Gasly's probably going to box this lap. We're going to box then 1 lap after him. But yeah, Max going on to another set of soft. So I think he's probably doing soft, soft, medium. So we're going to try and do soft, medium, soft.
2 seconds.
So yeah, you definitely will have a lot more pace at me at the moment as we're struggling around a little bit for grip. There we go. Pierre Gasly into the pits at the end of lap 20 as Verstappen, yeah, has already pulled out a second on me over this lap. Just got to be really, really careful, you know, sort of squeezing the throttle out of the corners. But we're probably going to come out rather close, I think, to our teammate. Might have a little bit of an advantage over him. Just don't want to hold him up, of course, later on in the day. But yeah, we do come back out now in P2. So Valtteri Bottas, of all people, sets the fastest lap on a 1:14.7. As Bottas now has actually jumped Carlos Sainz by the look of it. So that McLaren is not slow. We've got yellow flags out. One of the Alpines going slowly. Mazepin out of the Grand Prix. I'm definitely going to lose a lot of sleep over that one. Heading down in towards the final couple of corners though. Verstappen has built himself up a good 11-12 second lead in this GP. So he's done rather well early on here inside the first 22 laps as he now sets fast lap of the day. Get the car slowed down into the pits there. That was rather tidy in the end. So fingers crossed we're going to come out a little bit closer to Lando Norris there, but of course he will have had the fresher tyres for a couple of laps, so if the gap's still sort of around 10-11 seconds, that'd be rather good, as somehow, despite all our woes, we've lapped a Haas pretty much in this Grand Prix. There goes Yuki Tsunoda, here comes Lando Norris, and then of course the other Haas car Not too sure which one we're just following in the pit lane, but we need to come out ahead of Callum Ilott, ideally. Which we're not.
Today. One stop left in our strategy.
That's not so ideal then, but we weren't actually ahead of Ilott, were we? I don't think we overtook him on the road. No, so he pit a bit earlier. And yeah, Norris only 8.5 seconds up the road, so we have still made gains, in fact. Thank you very much, Robert Schwartzman. I think Hassier going to have a lot of practice this year at letting faster cars by. Things you never expect to see in Formula 1, Jack Aitken, new fastest lap.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes' time. Rain in 10 minutes. Our gap behind.
Well, that was never on the radar.
2 seconds.
The team now saying rain could arrive in about 10 minutes here, so that is not what we want here in Imola. Schumacher now just jumping out of the way as we close up to Callum Ilott. But yeah, rain maybe predicted here at Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. I would like that not to happen. Are we now going to be close enough to Callum Ilott to maybe move ourselves back up into the points of this GP? Roll on the power out of the final corner there. Keep nicking a wheel in the gravel as we've used a bit too much overtake mode as the lap has unfolded there, but we've still got a lot of overspeed on the Williams. Back down towards turn 1. Which way is Ilott going to go? He does try. What's a man got to do in this GP there? How is that our fault, Codis? I don't get this. I mean, we were clearly down the inside there, and Ilott has just squeezed us to the inside curb. Very, very robust defending, and again, it set us back in this Grand Prix there. What have I got to do? Right, again then, are we going to be close enough to Guan Yu Zhou? I've decided now I'm not taking any prisoners in this Grand Prix then. We need to try and get close and get a run on at the AlphaTauri as we head back down in towards turn 1. Clearly the inside doesn't work in towards the first couple of corners there, but we're still going to show the nose, hopefully try and scare Guan Yu Zhou. Not quite going to be able to get the run like we did a few laps on him ago though. And fingers crossed we should be able to look past him at least by the end of next lap. All over the back though of Guan Yu Zhou once more as we head out in the final couple of corners. Surely this is going to be a done deal in this GP once again. Yeah, with the overspeed we should have. Which way is he going to go? Guan Yu Zhou to the inside. We'll give him plenty of room apparently, because you have to now around Imola. But we'll get it slowed down on the racing line and move back up again into P11 here. Ilott desperately wants that point for Williams, and I'm now desperately going to try and take it away from him. Oh, we got yellow flags out. Someone might have issues in this Grand Prix. No, I think it's just an Alpine.
We're expecting rain in
lap
around
cars
10
by.
to 15 minutes.
Team's still saying rain's on the way. To be honest, I had already forgotten about that, which is not reassuring. But maybe it'll just sort of float near the circuit rather than actually on it. Right, come on then, Callum Ilott. You want to have this battle again, mate? I'm more than happy to play a bit more robust if you fancy it. At the final corner we go. Try and activate the DRS, roll on the power. Just use up the last of the battery for the lappers. There we go, fastest lap.
Keep this up.
Oh, Ilott tries to give me a squeeze, so I'm going to aggressively cut over the nose of the Williams back in towards turn 1 there. But yeah, fastest lap of the GP on a set of mediums. It felt like a good lap, but I wasn't expecting that. As now finally back up into the points here in Imola. 14 seconds to Lando Norris. Well, coming towards what would be the end of the Grand Prix, had it been a standard race, as Bottas into the pits once more. Yeah, the gaps aren't quite coming down as quickly as I would like at the moment to a lot of cars. However, of course, this should be the part of the race where we aren't really gaining much time on a lot of people. There's almost setting another new fast lap of the day. Where are we going to come out in comparison to Bottas? They are going to come out ahead of him here, and no way, if he gets close, am I going to try and let him by. I'm going to make him work for that. But yeah, fingers crossed though, closing up to this Alpine. Gap to Lando down to 11.
Looks like rain is inbound, and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes till the rain.
So team now saying rain could be in about 5 minutes time. So could we see a lot of the AI move over onto a set of mediums to try and make it to the end of the race, and then immediately having to pit back the other way? Bottas has gone into another set of softs, so McLaren definitely didn't feel he had the pace to make it to the wet period, but definitely believe it is going to arrive there. They're committed to making another stop in this Grand Prix. This is where the race could get interesting, because of course everyone has to pit before we need to. This could really bring us back towards contention. It's Valtteri Bottas though as we head down the front straightaway once more. Trying to make sure we've just about got the gap ahead of him so we can't get close in towards turn 1 there. And yeah, just trying to hold up the fin as best as possible at the moment. It's definitely a personal thing. I'm not even going to try and hide that. We've got yellow flags out down at turn 1. One of the Mercedes has gone round. This time, it's Jack Aitken, who was running really, really well early on in this GP there. But Aitken's going to get shuffled back down
Yellow flag.
towards us. That might give us a bit of a car to chase again. Always nice to have a car a little bit closer that you can chase. But, of course, we're still getting
Clear.
leaned on by Valtteri Bottas behind. Yeah, Aitken. Just a good 15 seconds from that. So, yeah, disappointed for him after how well he'd been running. Oh, there we go. Bottas' new fast lap of the day. He's going to be gaining on us. Back in towards turn 1. The Finn really trying to make a move work this time. But we're going to lunge it back to the inside there and a Verstappen-esque defence. And, yeah, force Bottas to stay back for yet another lap. That was probably one of the most aggressive defensive manoeuvres you'll see me make on F1 2021.
Gap to teammate ahead is 26.8 seconds.
Bottas again is going to go for it back in towards turn 1, and again we force him to the outside. But this time the Finn just being a little bit reluctant there, maybe hoping we'd outbrake ourselves slightly. The Schwartzman's going to jump out of the way for us. I'm sure, yeah, Bottas is not happy about this, but neither was I, being stuck battling it out for the minnow positions for so long in this GP. Oh, I think I'm starting to see the rain. The rain's now starting to fall here at Imola. The next question then is, how heavy is it going to get? And when do we make a pit stop and then onto what tyres? But things could get spicy there as a couple more cars into the pit lane. It's going to bring us back up into P6 there as again Bottas. Oh, I thought he was going to go to the outside there. He is going to go to the outside.
Recommend you stay out for now though. We'll be much slower if we move on to inters this early.
Wasn't trying to move around on Valtteri then, but we do again hang on to the position. But team saying far too early for inters. And that normally would imply that they're thinking about it in the future. So we just got to try and weather the storm, literally and metaphorically at the moment, and hope that that can help us sort of get a pit stop on everyone.
You're doing well out there, keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes.
Okay, so team saying not going to be much rain at all then, so perhaps it won't be worth moving over. So maybe it's worth just pitting. I set my sights on about that end of 42, end of 43, going on to softs to the end.
2.3 seconds.
We could have fresh rubber then to really attack the rest of the field, but you know, we could see a sudden downpour and then it will dry up very quickly as well. You just don't know. Bottas is going to have to pit again though, so we are battling the Finn. Here comes Bottas once more as we head down in towards turn 1, and that time round, nothing we can try and do to defend the position. So that's a bit frustrating there. We have let Bottas by, but I think it was only going to get more and more difficult on the older rubber in these conditions. But again, Bottas has got to pit once more in this race, so we're not done with Valtteri. We could definitely still reclose him at the end.
The track conditions aren't improving. It's your choice as to whether you want to fit the wets next time you come in.
Oh, I don't like it when the teams say that, especially when it's going to be our box-in lap at the end of this one, I think. Team undecided on whether it's softs or inters that we should go on to. I think it's worth just trying to stay out here, fresh rubber. You can see we're not really losing anything to Jack Aitken, and he's on a much fresher set of softs than myself, but Bottas, yeah, is pulling away at the moment, so I think he's definitely getting damp though.
It's pretty touch and go right now. We think the slicks may still be quicker, but it's very close, and you're going to struggle to keep them in the temperature window. The inters are ready when you need them.
Oh, Jeff, don't say that! Oh, as if this race can get any more dramatic with everything that's gone on at the moment. Pierre's pit, so we can't even box this lap. We'll have to see what Pierre's doing here, because yeah, I'm just not convinced. You know, we might just have to stay out on these mediums for a few laps longer. So if the track, you know, does stay a bit damp, then we've got a bit more tyre life and make sure we do see ourselves through to the end of the race. But chaotic scenes here from the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. There is everyone just struggling at the moment to keep the car in line. Jack Aitken is into the pits as well. What has Pierre gone on to then? That's the real question in this Grand Prix. Bottas, of course, still hanging around on his mediums. Sykes has gone on mediums. Pierre's on mediums, so yeah, we're going to have to box onto soft tyres then at the end of this lap. But there's still a pit stop behind a lot of these guys. There is Bottas. Of course, he's going to have to pit again as well by the end, but he is flying. Oh, Carlos Sainz weaving around behind us. So he gets a little bit frustrated as we try and get the run out of Aqua Minerale. Come on, just got to try and get around the final couple of corners. We're definitely going to have to box, though, at the end of this lap and try and take those set of soft tyres to the end of the race. We need all the grip we can possibly get at the moment.
Dry track soon. Back to dry shortly.
That's what I like to hear then. Team saying dry track shortly. I'm going to up the front wing by 1 click as well, just so we have got that little bit of extra downforce that we might require towards the end of this GP. But yeah, things getting very, very interesting here from Emilia. Less than 20 laps to go now from this race, and I think we're going to re-emerge just right at the bottom of the points. Where are we going to be in comparison to Lando Norris? It's going to be an interesting question there. I think we're going to be behind him and Jack Aitken, but theoretically now, we should be one of the fastest cars on track between now and the end of the day. So yeah, we are going to re-emerge in P10.
We want to finish the race on this compound.
Let's just get our head down. We can still recover a lot today. All over the back once more of Jack Aitken. And I mean now, yeah, we should have so much more grip than a lot of the cars around us there. That Mercedes still picks up well at the final corner, but activate the DRS. And he's basically a sitting duck. So he's heading towards turn 1. Team happy with that one. Norris now less than 2 in front. Should be past him by the end of the lap, and then we can try and give chase to that gaggle of cars in the mid-pack. Oh, look how much Norris is struggling as we head out the chicane then, just not able to put the power down in his AlphaTauri. And I'll be... Whoa, we're accidentally going to look for a move up the inside of our former teammate there. Lando braking way earlier into the penultimate corner there than I was expecting. And yeah, we will move up into P8 of the Grand Prix there, down the inside until I think the first Ravazza.
Gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up.
And we're running upwards of 2 seconds a lap faster than everyone at the moment. Fresh tyres, quicker tyres, softer tyres in these sorts of conditions are absolutely everything. Crossing into the final quarter then of this GP. Yeah, we're still taking a lot of time at the cars in front as we actually go purple that time round. Looks like Tsunoda and Ricciardo having a bit of a ding-dong, so all of this playing into our hands. I think Bottas is into the pits once more, so intrigued to see where we're going to come out relative to the Finn. Yeah, 3-stop strategy is maybe one too many here in Imola, but as we round the final corner there is Bottas on the radar, and hopefully we're ahead of him as we go fastest. And there we go, ahead of Valtteri Bottas then, so back into P7 of the Grand Prix, and fingers crossed he won't be a threat between now and the end. So definitely still a top 4 on the table if we can try and jump these guys. This should be another new fastest lap of the day as we close up to Schwartzman. There we go, 13.8.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
So definitely finding a lot of pace still, and definitely still closing into these guys. As thank you very much, Schwartzman. No idea how many times we've lapped him today, but yeah, Haas have got a lot of work to do. 50 laps in though, 14 to go, and this race is far from over.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
I was not expecting that at this stage of the day there, as Schumacher now has to jump out the way of everyone. But yeah, now we've got 4 cars locked into battle here late on in the day. Ho-ho! As we need to try and look past Charles Leclerc, but again, we've got so much more grip and confidence at the moment than all these guys. Of course, they've had to brave a lot more of the weather on their current set of rubber. So yeah, fingers crossed, Charles Leclerc should be easy to dispose of.
Between you and the car behind by a few seconds per lap.
Right, let's just see if we can try and get a run out of the Variante Bassa. I want to say I'm probably getting all the corner names wrong, as no, we definitely will not. Almost was able to slingshot past Charles Leclerc there. We're going to have to slot back in for now and try and get a run out of the final couple of turns. Let's just head through here we go. Roll on the throttle. You can see just how much earlier we're able to get on the power than a lot of the cars around us here. Leclerc will still have the DRS, but it's a very faint draft.
We need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
Up the inside of Charles Leclerc we go, with Tsunoda and Ricciardo side by side as well in towards turn 1. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, a lot of contact in fact, on the exit of the corner there. And are we now going to be able to have a look to the inside of Tsunoda? No. Definitely going to think better of that one. We've spent so much of today trying to recover places. Don't really want to send a risky move there on the Mercedes man as we'll try and get the power down up the hill though. We might be able to get the car to the inside now using a lot of battery. Oh, a little bit of contact there again as Tsunoda and myself exchanging just a little bit of rubber pass around between the pair of us there. And we will now move up into P5 then of this race. So 2 cars overtaken so far this lap. Sainz 14 seconds up the road though. It's going to be a very, very tall order to try and close up to by the end of the race, as Ricciardo very, very slow on the exit of the chicane. Almost ran into the back of the Australian, but we should be able to make it 3 moves in a lap here if we can get the run out of the final corner. Let's just wait and see. So Ricciardo there just trying to sit behind the McLaren, roll on the power, use the battery as we head up towards the line. And yeah, no DRS for Daniel Ricciardo there. The Australian not going to be able to do a lot as Ocon, a lapped car as well, just waiting in the way. He's going to back out in towards turn 1. That all got a little bit close, but 11 laps to go. 12 seconds to Carlos Sainz there. If these tyres hang on, that might not be at the realms of possibility. We're going to keep pushing and see what we can do. There we go, another new fastest lap down into the 112s now. So only a second off what we were able to do in qualifying. I'm really feeling it at the moment. Oh, we got more yellow flags out. I think that's the other McLaren. That is Bottas that's gone round that time. It's time for the smug face, I think.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
Still finding time there. Gap to Sainz now has dipped under 10 seconds. 9 laps to go. 7 laps to go. Gap down to 7 seconds. This could come down to the very last lap between myself and Carlos Sainz there. I'm sure Ferrari would want to see a podium at their home Grand Prix. Is a big wobble through the first couple of corners. That's how hard we're pushing still. 5 laps to go. Gap down to 5 seconds. There's almost another new fastest lap of the day. The pace is relentless, but it is going to come right down to the wire if we can keep maintaining this level of performance. Oh, we got more yellow flags out. Mercedes this time going round. I think that's must obviously be Jack Aitken again. The second time today he's gone round down at turn 1. Not many of us have struggled down there, but it does seem to be the same repeat offenders. I hate the fact I've been included in that, as Giovinazzi either give me DRS or get out of the way. He's going to get out of the way. I could have rather done with the DRS there, mate, but thanks. 4 seconds now to Sainz. The gap is still heading the right way. There is big wobble through the final couple of turns. Get it all collected up. 4 to go. So we're still taking about 1.2 a lap out of Carlos Sainz, so it could be the run back down to here on the final lap of the Grand Prix that could make or break this race there. Ferrari want to see Sainz back on the podium. First podium for them so far this year. But remember the last race that we had a last lap battle on? Of course, that was Mexico last season. Definitely do not want a repeat of that here. Just got to be careful and keep the tyres in the operating window here as Schwartzman, thankfully again, does get out of the way. Schwartzman, he's had a lot of practice doing that so far this year. He seems to be quite good at letting faster cars by. Just over 2 laps to go though, gap 2 seconds. Well, just over 1 lap to go then here from the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And now we've got a Haas car that's getting in the way again. It's Mick Schumacher. Hopefully as long as he gets out of the way, he won't give Sainz any DRS, which he doesn't. So thank you very much, Mick. 1 more lap to go then here from this GP, and we need a good run at the final corner here if we want to try and get the run on Carlos Sainz. Getting a little bit close to the curb at the final turn there, but we do get a pretty good run, and I'm sure Sainz, he's just going to drain the battery. Final lap then here from Imola, and we're gaining on Carlos Sainz. Gives me a big squeeze to the outside, but Sainz holds firm for now there and completely parks the car through the first couple of turns there. Was not expecting Sainz to be that aggressive, but he wants to put Ferrari back on the podium this weekend at their home Grand Prix. They're a little bit of a snag of the brakes. And are we going to find any more opportunities to get a run on the Spaniard there? I must have used so much battery as we head in towards turn 1. It does look like Verstappen, though, is pretty much going to lead every lap of this Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. They're a dominant display from the Dutchman as he looks to try and make it 2 in a row here, but down the bottom of the hill. Got to try and get a good run here. We could get a run out of the chicane here and maybe try and launch an attack on Carlos Sainz as we chuck it in, attack the curbs. As Sainz kicks out the back end. We are going to be able to put the power down there, but Sainz looks like he might only just be able to get the car to the inside. They're down the inside, in towards the Ravazzas. Their big lockup. We get it slowed down, and with just 2 corners to go, we are going to claim a podium here. And what a recovery in this 100% race.
Yes, that's a podium. Excellent drive. The team have worked especially hard this weekend, and this is a fantastic reward.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
Let's move on to the constructors. The owner-driver's team moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. There, a 100% race, the first one I've done on F1 2021, and safe to say, I think eventful is the way we're going to describe that one there. Max Verstappen, even I should say, takes home the dub there, took the lead at the start of the race and never really looked back there. 16 seconds clear of Pierre Gasly when all is said and done. To be fair, after we'd had all our issues and incidents early on in the race, our pace with Gasly and Verstappen was actually pretty good from about lap 20 onwards there. The gap pretty much stayed the same, so we have definitely got the pace to be fighting with Max right at the very front there, but 2 wins in a row for him is going to leapfrog him clear at the front of the championship there. Pierre, yeah, with that P2 though, another good result for him, and with us P3 means we do jump Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship there. Carlos Sainz, I'm sure, gutted with 4th position from pole there. He fought valiantly right the way through the race there in a car that probably shouldn't have been fighting where he was able to place it there. Ricciardo 5th ahead of Tsunoda there. Charles Leclerc ahead of Lando Norris, then Bottas and Perez rounding out the top 10 there. Definitely Mercedes struggled a lot more this weekend than I'm sure they would have wanted. Jack Aitken down in 11th there, and Guan Yu Zhou, the first driver to finish just 1 lap down there. Williams struggled a bit more later on in the day. I thought they might be able to get close to the points, but not quite enough in the end there, with Giovinazzi finishing between them there. Both Astons 2 laps down there ahead of Esteban Ocon, and then yeah, both Haas cars 4 laps down at the end of a very, very long and grueling Grand Prix there, with just Nikita Mazepin not making it to the checkered flag. That means championship-wise, yeah, Max Verstappen now leads the way by 10 points over ourselves there, as Pierre Gasly now just 3 points behind us. Sergio Perez down to 4th, ahead of Tsunoda and Jack Aitken still there. Sainz with that good result leapfrogs his way up into 8th place there, ahead of Bottas there, and Leclerc gets his first points on the board ahead of Lando Norris and Guan Yu Zhou. No other movers though towards the rear of the field except for Mick Schumacher. Jump Schwartzman on count back, and constructors wise, yeah, 5 points clear now, the gap between us and Red Bull after those races. Ferrari jump AlphaTauri as well there, which is exactly what they needed. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Normal 50% races will resume for the next one, but of course, yeah, if you guys do like watching 100% races, let me know down in the comments below. Maybe we can do something a little bit special with them later on in F1 2021. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with more F1 2021 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.